Hey fam, welcome back to another episode of Mind the Mic. Here with a special guest. I say special guest, that's getting like a bit worn out. But I'm gonna say special guest again. Jesse Sene-Lefao. Did I say that right, Cuzzy? If I'm wrong, my bad, my brother. Just correct me.
No, all good. Thank you for having me, man.
Hey, brother, for anybody that doesn't know you, why how would people know you mostly? Can you speak on that at all? I'll give you
Um,
an introduction, but you could probably give a better one than me.
yeah, I think okay, well, first of all, I'm a son to Samoan parents. Mum is New Zealand born in Porirua, but she has a strong Samoan heritage. My dad's born in Samoa, raised in Samoa, and then I'm born in Wellington. Raised there till the age of 10 and then went to Australia. Second, I'm
Oh,
a husband. I've got
yep.
a beautiful wife living in the UK. We've been married for almost 10 years now. Third, I'm a father. I'm a father to 5 kids. My oldest is 15 years old. My youngest is one, almost one. And I got 2 girls and 3 boys. Two boys are born in Yorkshire, well, England, and currently playing rugby league. A lot of people probably know me from playing rugby. Debuted at Manly, finished off at the Sharks, and then been in the UK for the last 8 years playing rugby. So yeah, that's probably how people would know me. But that's just a little debrief.
Hey, beautiful brother. You said obviously proud Samoan in background. Can you speak on being Samoan and what it means to you?
Yeah, man. Look, Samoa, I think was embedded in me from my grandparents. I grew up with my grandma and granddad in New Zealand. I can honestly say they were my first parents. Um, mom and dad had to work, so I was with grandma and granddad all the time. So speaking Samoa was every day, was an everyday thing. Probably learned Samoa before English. Um, learning the culture, respect, all the praying in the morning, praying at night. These were the common habits I was taught at a young age. So being Samoa was probably the first thing I kind of encountered and believed, and then the culture side of things, has still installed good habits in my life today.
Beautiful brother. Have you ever been to Samoa?
Yep. Been to Samoa for the first time when I met my wife now. But
Yep.
before then, no, only in New Zealand and Australia. But we made a trip, and that's where I got my first tattoo
Oh
at
yes.
my village called Lalomonga. It was funny because I'm pretty light skinned. My family back there thought I didn't understand Samoa, so I
Oh,
played,
true.
played along with it. I played along with it, and as I was getting my tattoo, I remember the kids, because when you get a tattoo, they build a circle around you, and they have these illies. They fan you because it's hot. There's no aircon.
Oh yes.
And you can hear the little kids going like in Samoa, they're saying like, "Wow, this Aussie can't handle this pain. Like he's gonna give up. He's gonna give up on the tattoo." They can't. And I'm sitting there, bro, straight up, because they were like saying it, mocking me. eight
Yep.
hours straight, man, no break. And like the tattooist was like, "Do you want a break?" I'm nah, keep
Hell
going, keep
no. Hell no.
going. Yeah.
Not
Oh,
gonna
but it
fuck
was
to these little kids.
no, talking smack.
Bro, hey, shout out to them though, brother. Shout out to them. They drove you to finish it, cuz they drove you. What do they call the tattoo, brother? What's the name for it? I don't know. Is
No,
that better
so
or
I
no?
didn't get the traditional
Oh, okay.
better. I just got a sleeve on my arm. Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty special because the guy who done it is my cousin, but he wanted me to get it in the village where he tattooed my dad. So
Oh, that's cool.
it was pretty special in that, and just
Yeah.
all the family around.
Yeah. Shout out to the cuz. Did your dad go make the trip too or no?
Nah, not the time. He went before me. Yeah, he was there before me and that.
Cool. So you said New Zealand, 10 years old. Like, tell us about your upbringing in Aotearoa, New Zealand. What was that? What were some of the fondest memories? Obviously, being Samoan, but some things you can remember being in Wellington, or did you grow up in Porirua?
Yeah, in Porirua. I was just born in Wellington.
Yeah.
It was like I was brought up. I don't know if it's called Cannons Creek.
Cannons Creek, yes.
Yeah, so man, my memories back home was pretty much just following my granddad. I literally would be in the car with him, and I don't know back in the day, but he ran a business, and it was like you lend money to people, because a lot of people in Porirua, like they didn't have money, and they'll be waiting for Thursday, for payday. So my granddad used to lend money out to people, and we used to call them eikalafu people. So they'll come in, it was like a bank, but it wasn't a bank. It was all cash. And
that's good.
People would knock on the door, and I would answer, and then I'll be like, "Oh, granddad, eikalafu people are here." But it's pretty rude to say that, because it's shameful enough to come and ask for me. There's a little kid saying, "Oh, someone's here to come get money." Because like some people would borrow the money and take off as well, being with my granddad and watching how he used to do that was crazy. Because you got to think, this is like, how old am I? I'm 34 now, and this is when I was around, probably 6 or 4, 7. And I'm watching everything like, what the hell? But man, looking back, like, to now and then, my granddad retired and that, but they were doing this on the side, my grandma and granddad, and people used to come in all the time, man. It was crazy, back then. It was tough. It was tough for people. Everyone was on like, I don't know what it was called back then, but like Centrelink money.
Yeah, on the dole. Yeah. Wins. Yeah.
So all I knew was every second Thursday, everyone got paid. So that time we would all go to the my granddad would wait at the ATM in Cannons Creek. So the people who owed money would come and get the money out and give it to them.
Oh, true. A lineup of people, with the hat. Pay up your ticket. That's cool, brother. Like, that's cool as about your granddad. Like, obviously as a business, but also the fact that he was doing that for your guys, for the people. That's cool as well. That's pretty cool, man. Must have been a very sharp man, your granddad.
Yeah, man. Like, he was probably like someone I looked up to straight away as a young kid. Sadly he's gone now, but he's always it's special. But in terms of Porirua in itself, it really shaped me in terms of being grateful for what I had, because a lot of people have things that like normal people would have, and I think that grounded me as a person to to be aware of others and share, because my granddad would share a lot too. Every Sunday he would go to the bakery and like those black rubbish bags and just put all the food. And he would go to all our family's house and beep, 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 and then he'll drop some food off, like pies. And stuff like that.
What a guy, man.
We'll do every Sunday. We'll do that, together. So just little things like that, I knew that people didn't have, a lot. So yeah, it was always good to give back.
Yeah, beautiful, brother. Did you start playing football there too, rugby league or rugby? Did you?
Yeah, I played at Porirua City. That's what it was called back then. And then I had kind of a break, and then I played again for the Parramatta Raiders. That's what they were
Parramatta, eh? Is that where you ended up over in Parramatta?
And then we went to Oz, and then I kind of had a break because we were just moving from state to state in Australia, trying to find.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So we went to Brisbane first from New Zealand, and then we were living with family. We hadn't even met yet. We just met them on the phone. Yep, we're coming. Me, mum, and my sister. So 3 of us went. Dad couldn't come over because of visas and that. He was still Samoa, whatever. So we were there just chucked in a house with a random family. We ended up staying in Brisbane, and then we caught a train. We caught a train from Brisbane all the way to Penrith, and that's how we stayed in Penrith and grew up in Penrith. But yeah, I remember that train ride being so long, man. And like,
especially as a kid,
times we had no money back then. Like, I think we left New Zealand to go to Australia with like $50. And then we got there, and we, lucky for the family there to support us through that time. But yeah, to get the dole or whatever back then it took a long time to apply because we're from New Zealand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not too sure how all that worked.
Oh, far out, brother. But how long in Brisbane are you before you get on that train to go to Penrith?
Probably around 6 to 7 months. 6 to 7.
Oh,
yeah.
Little while then.
We stayed in Brisbane for a lot. It was hot, and it was the first time I went to a school. Bro, the school we went to, I didn't like. It was it had a swimming pool, it had a massive basketball court, and to me that was like, wow, I've just come
flash, eh?
And like, these guys expected me to wear a tie. I remember my first day at school. I was so ashamed because we didn't have shoes. I didn't have any school shoes, like black. Everyone had black shoes, but I had these like other shoes, the wrong pair, and I had the wrong T-shirt on. So I was like, I was, you'd notice me, the guy that didn't even have the uniform, and like I was getting told off by the teachers going, "Where's your uniform?" And I didn't want to say, "Oh, my mom didn't have money to get it," but I was just like, "Oh, I think I'm getting it next week. It's coming."
It's coming in the mail, cuz.
Freaking hell.
Far out. Bro, shout out to mum though. Does dad eventually come over as well? Or?
Yeah, he comes over when we get to Penrith.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we were apart for about almost just under a year. Yeah.
Wow.
Over. Yeah.
Was that hard, brother? It would have been hard for mummy, or
yeah, I think it was hard for mum financially. It was for me. I think when you're young like that, and because I lived with grandma and granddad most of the time, I was used to being away from them. You know what I mean? So like, it was pretty much a good time for me to get close to my parents. Going to Australia.
Oh, that's dope, brother. It was shout out to mum anyway. Obviously, she had a dream and to chase, try and give you the better life, get out of Porirua, and shout out to the families that got you over, because I guess you wouldn't be probably where you are today in England if it's not for that family taking you guys in. So shout out to them, man. That's on.
Yeah, definitely.
What's Penrith like growing up out west in that? So you lived in Penrith or like in Penrith itself?
Yeah, I was more Kingswood boy. So Penrith Station, I'm about like, if you went back going towards Mount Druitt. So I'm 2 stops away from Mount Druitt, and I'm 3 stops away from Penrith.
Oh, sort of in between.
Yeah, I'm right in between there. And growing up, in Kingswood for me was awesome, man. Like we were always outside. We'd get broken bikes and fix them, and that's how we got around. It was cool, man. And then in Penrith, everyone's playing rugby league, so I got back into it, and then the people I was around, we were all just chasing to be a rugby league player.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think the biggest kicker was not to wear the blue uniform and go to work. That was probably my one. Like I didn't want to wear the blue collar shirt.
Your driver to make it a thing
to play rugby. But at the same time, I didn't know that rugby could give you a life. I thought rugby was just to get on TV and make your mum and dad proud. And, As you get older, like for me, rugby league was to bring the family together, because my family and that, man, they have dramas. Like everyone has dramas.
Yeah, the dramas.
Especially us Pacific Islanders, man. Like when there's drama, they just seem to not talk for a while. And the communication is broken. So playing rugby league, they would always come to support your cousins, and and that's the only way to get them all at the same place all together. And it kind of just builds forgiveness. just to come and watch me play, you know. So that was the best thing about coming up as a youngster, is like seeing your uncles and that coming to watch you play and supporting you and that. And like, yeah, that was rugby in the beginning, you know.
Who did you support, brother? Who did you support a rugby league team like in Porirua? Did you support a rugby league team when you get like who did you support as a kid?
As a kid, I didn't really know rugby league, to be honest. I was a John Olomu fan. Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, that was it.
The
man.
big dog, eh?
Bro, John Olomu was the man. Like that's
the
it,
game
John
too. The game too, also what? The game?
Yeah. I didn't play the game to Australia, but in terms of like inspiration, I used to love how John Olomu used to run. So I just started putting, like, every time I would run, I'd put the ball on my left hand, because he always put it in his left hand. He always palmed with his right.
Shave the eyebrow too, eh? Cuz
I always wanted the fringe, but mum wouldn't let me. The bald head with the little,
that little bum fluff at the top here.
Yeah, I know.
only he could pull that off here. Bro, man. No, it makes sense because you know we're similar age. I'm 33 this year, but you know around then growing up and back home, it's Jonah was the king, eh, brother? Jonah was the king, especially after that 96 World Cup and everything he did. Crazy too, if you think about it, it was only a short period like that he like dominated. And you know, if it wasn't for that bout of food poisoning, he'd probably have a World Cup next to his name. And then France, obviously, bit of freakish stuff from France, knocking them out in 99. Who knows, brother? Might have had 2 World Cups under his belt. But what a legend, brother. What a legend, Jonah. Jonah, definitely a hero of mine too. But I think probably every young boy growing up in New Zealand at the time, Jonah was probably up there. Eh?
Yeah, definitely, man. He was the man.
So when you get to Penrith and that, you start to play rugby league, do you get a team? Do you find a team like that you support? Or
yeah, so I think it was tough being in Penrith at the time, because the schools that I went to, they weren't playing rugby league at the time. It was all soccer. Yeah, you wouldn't believe it, but man, when I got there, man, I was the only brown skinned boy there. The school I went to Penrith Public, and honestly, man, you can spot the Islander back then, you know, definitely. Wow. So that's how, like, we were there when there was no Islanders, you know.
True. Times have changed, because
well, soccer was massive then, you know. Like rugby league was all right, but the junior system wasn't as big as what it is now.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I started playing, like, we went to Jamison Park to go and play. My mum and dad wanted me to play soccer because they didn't want me to get hurt. Yeah, they wanted to change the sport, but then just the soccer teams just were full, and they didn't really want me to play, really, because I was a big fat boy, you know, back then.
You're the fat boy.
I was like humongous, and like that was one thing too, being Islander and then being this big ass kid. Freaking hell. So I ended up just playing for Penrith Waratahs, and this was like a Division 4 team, you know. I played like real low division, so I never made any reps coming through the junior. Nah. Yeah. And then I finally decided to, like, I played there for a long time, and then I finally decided, because there was this thing called Harold Mats back then. Oh, it still is now.
Still is.
That's how. Yeah, I changed to Brothers, and now it's called. It was called St. Dom's, but now it's called Brothers. Back in Penrith, and that's when they scouted me to play for Harold Mats. But funny enough, when I made Harold Mats, I got injured in the first trial, so I only done the preseason. I trained my ass off, like I was the odd kid out, because when I made Penrith, I was like the Division 4 player all the time. No one really knew me. But man, I just trained my ass off in the preseason. I remember this. It was with Bill Dow as the coach. Trained my ass off, and then like first trial, 2 minutes, I popped my shoulder out. So they started making cuts, right? They started cutting the squad, and the first cut, I got injured. So like usually I thought I was out. I couldn't make it.
Gone.
But
I'm gone.
30. they picked me in the 30 to keep on in the squad, and I was like, wow. So like I was like, frick, I must have done something in the preseason, right?
Yeah. And did they know you popped your shoulder too?
Yeah. So they decided to pay for all this like stuff to get it done because I didn't get surgery straight away. So we rehabbed it, and then there was another cut, and they cut it down to 25 people men. So they had 5 more to cut, and these guys are all playing at the time. I'm not playing yet, And then they make the cut again, and I've made it through to the next cut for Harold Max, and I was like, frick, man. And the coach was saying, man, we're really happy with the way you train throughout the preseason. So this is why you're coming through. And then come round 2, I think we versed Parramatta at the time. Parramatta was the best team in the comp. And then I got straight into the starting team, and we beat Para that day, yeah. But
were there any guns that you played in those teams or against or with at the time?
I come through with Wade Graham, Lachlan Coote. That was Lanson Judo, Vave, Sasaya Vave. Daniel Lindsay.
You said Wade Graham because he debuted young too, eh? Was he real mean then? Like, because was he in the halves or something too?
Yeah, so he was a year younger, but he always played upper age with us. Yeah, but ever since a young kid, he's always been like, a really good speaker. At the age of like 14, when he was 15 and we were 16, like you could just tell that he had like leadership skills naturally, and asking questions and really good talker. So it didn't surprise me, where he ended up, because as a half you need to talk anyway. So he started learning his skills at a young age, and then by the time he turned 18, 19, it was pretty natural for him to speak up.
Yeah, beautiful, brother. So you're amongst all these weapons and that. What's the next step, brother, for the journey to how do you level up from there, or where do you go from there in this?
Yeah, well, how much, and then we go into SG ball like you do, and then the under 20s. So I made all 3, and then after the 20s. Normally back then it was called Toyota Cup. You're doing really well if you can get straight into first grade full time, but that didn't happen for me. I kind of didn't get signed up after the 20s. I was 18 years old, and then life hits you, and that's where the journey really starts, because that's where I'm like, I need to make first grade. I get a call from my girlfriend at the time, which is my wife now, that she's pregnant.
Shout out to wifey.
Yeah, so this was the biggest change that kind of gave me a why in my life. Coming out of the 20s, no full-time contract, got a baby on the way. I need to go and provide now. I don't even have a job because I'm all in rugby at the time. I'm playing 20s. I'm not working at all. I'm just going 20s training and getting caught up to train with first grade every now and again. Not making much money, still living at home. Just finished school. So, bloody hell. We also, my mum and I, we got a contract from Newcastle. At the time, it was like 36 grand a year at that time. That's pretty good, because I was living away from home allowance. And then this is how stupid like young islanders are at the time. Because I didn't have my P's, right? Because I didn't, like, this is after 20s, like I didn't go, and I signed with under 20s at Penrith for 5 grand or 10 grand or something, where I had a potential 36 grand to go over there and play. There was this thing called fast track where you train with 20s, but they'll call you up to play train with first grade at times as well. And I didn't go. My mom and dad was like, nah, you haven't moved out. You don't know how to cook and all this. And I was like, wow. Looking back, it's so like uneducated at the time, But now, obviously now when kids get that kind of offer, you kind of push them to go. And I feel like NRL's gone better as well. They got better systems in place now, better support systems. They've invested in people in the club that help kids like that get on their feet. So it's a lot better now with the setup.
What do you think the catalyst is for the change that's occurred there in that space? Do you think the RLPA has a lot to do with it, or?
Yeah, I guess so. But also the game's grown, so there's a lot more money in it. So they can invest in more people to be employed to do things like this, where before there was a budget on everything. Like, so the game's changed massively in NRL for the better because there's more money. So that means there's more people involved, and that means there's more professionals making better decisions.
Yeah, and who knows where things head with this whole Vegas deal that they have going on too. You know, the game might go to even greater heights. So 20s, then you end up what's it? You're gonna have a baby, brother. You gotta get a job. You gotta provide for this baby.
Yeah.
So what's the decision, brother? What do you do?
Yeah. So this is where the culture starts coming in. You know, this is where the pressure of delivering for your parents, and this is where the Samoa mentality is mixed up. And the reason why I say this is because I'm proud Samoan, like I said. We do things different, you know, but it's sad to see some of the people who go through this kind of what can I say, this kind of obstacle in life, because some boys, you know, lose their life from it. And these are the financial pressures that, you know, your family can put on you. Like, for instance, I promised my parents I'll buy them a house and this and that, but then I go and have a baby. My parents and that weren't happy because my dad was the only worker at the time. So my job as the oldest sibling of my family is to help dad provide when I get older. So I'm meant to go get a job or make rugby and then help mum and dad provide for, because I got 5 siblings, you know. Help dad put food on the table and bills and stuff. But man, I've just come out of school. It's my turn to stand up, and in my culture we're supposed to help, but now I'm having a baby. So for me, there was a lot of shame, a lot of doubt. You know, it was a really tough time, to be honest, you know, and I see it today, like a lot of boys giving their lives because the pressures. And I just, you know, for my story from this part is like, I just want the boys to know that there is a way out. And if you have a why, you can make it work. And the way I made it work was that I had to really find out like what I really wanted in my life. And the 3 things I was missing at the time was clarity, the feel of failure, and then accountability. And the people I was around at the time were 18-year-olds that didn't have kids. My friends were 18, but they didn't have kids. And I'm trying to get advice from them. You know what I mean? So like in terms of my mind, I didn't have clarity of what I wanted to do, where I was going to go, and how I was going to do it. So, you know, that was the first thing that I had to break down. With the problems that were in front of me, I really had to kind of get clarity of, okay, well, it's happened. Put my hand up. Yes. You know, I stuffed up, but no, doesn't mean that we go down with this. How do I fix this? So I went to work, man. I got a job in the cellar from 7 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, right? And that would help mum and dad. Then I got a security job at night from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I would work from 8 in the night time, 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. in the morning or 6 a.m. in the morning, dependent on, you know, if I could get extra hours. And in the middle of them 2 jobs, man, I still had this dream to play NRL.
Okay.
I started playing in the local league called Windsor Wolves back then. Man, I just set a clarity that, yes, I'm going to provide for mum, dad. I'm going to provide for my partner at the time, and I'm going to do something I love. And man, with that clarity, man, that gave me like a direction to go, you know, a place to be on, a track to run on. And then it's like playing bowling. I always use this, like before I made this decision of clarity, I was playing bowling with no pins, and I kept going into the gutter. But then once I put pins in place, I started bowling the ball and I started hitting things. And
Gave you direction, eh?
Yeah, and I knew that I was going somewhere. So the first thing was clarity, man. With all the problems in front of me, the clarity. And once I got that, it was more. The next one was the fear of failure. I started to go, fuck, man, because I was really ashamed. Like everyone around me in my church, in my family knew I wanted to play NRL. But when they found out the news that I'm going to have a baby, the normal things that happen after this is when you have a baby, you can't play NRL anymore. You need to go and work. That was just the way I was brought up. And people in front of me that I seen that were good rugby players, once they had a kid, it was over. It was like you're determined not to make your goal anymore because you've had a kid, you've stuffed up. But I wanted to change that. And the fear of failure for me was to put a marker down and say, no more. I'm not scared to fail. I'm not scared to say I'm going to go for it. And I don't care if anyone says, oh, shame you fell over or shame you didn't. No, there's no more shame in me,
That's beautiful, brother. That's inspirational. That's inspirational, cuz straight up.
No more shame. I didn't look right. I didn't look left. I looked straight. And I didn't care what people said at the time.
Clarity,
I knew where I was going. And then the third one was accountability. I had to be accountable to myself. I had people to be accountable for. I had a why, and I had to start hanging around better people or people that are going in the same direction. So my friends changed. The people that I would hang out with changed. I would play rugby every weekend. I'd go to 3 training sessions a week and play on the weekend. And sometimes, man, I'll go to training on Friday night. Right, I work Friday day, training Friday night, back to work at 8 p.m., go to 3 in the morning, sleep in the car, do a 4-hour shift, and then wake up, leave the shift and go straight to my game. So like I didn't have any excuses. Like I never missed any training sessions at Windsor. I was never late to any training sessions, and I played every game.
What a weapon, brother. What a weapon. While you worked and had minimal sleep that whole time.
Mate. Like, and this is what I'm trying to say. Like a lot of boys that I said, like, I don't want this, but a lot of boys have given their life for this. Like when they get under these kind of conditions, I've seen it, like they commit suicide, and it hurts me because they think there's no way. But all they needed was the 3 steps: is a clarity, the fear of failure, and accountability. And if I just go back on the accountability, the people I started hanging around will go in the same direction. So it was easy to lean on them and have the same. I had to change my language. I had to change my mindset, because what I figured out was the things that came from my tongue became the things that I was going to be in person. So a lot of that changed when I was accountable for my actions. And after the games, I'll play for Windsor. Everyone's like, boys, come on, let's go for a drink. And I'll be like, bro, I've got to go back to work. I can't be drinking. So, man, my group of friends changed. My friends thought I was being selfish. And that's what happens when you make a good decision in your life. People start thinking that you've changed, but you haven't. You're a better person now.
Yeah.
Vision.
I hear you, brother. Like I didn't have to endure that, like what you did, and shout out to you, brother. But I think about that in times, even cousins that I've grown up with, and then they see me even doing something like this, and they're like, "Oh, you've changed." Like, well, I'm still the same person, like at my core, but hopefully I'm not the same as I was when I was 14 years old. Cuz, like, you know what I mean? Hopefully I've grown. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel you, brother, and the pressures are not just obviously, like you said, family, but also your whole surrounding. You got to change your whole circle, eh? Or say iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean? Like begets like.
Yeah.
Like, it's beautiful, man. Straight up, inspirational. Chat. All right.
Nah, it's all good, man. I just hopefully it can help someone, man. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're the product of your decisions.
Yes.
And if that can really, help someone out there, man, God be with you.
Yeah. So how many years you do this for? 1 year, 2 years? How many? And then you...
Well, this is what you're doing. But, man, I feel like I'm telling stories all morning.
Brother, go hard. Go hard, cuzzy. Go
hard. So the long story short, man, like I did this for 5 years, bro. Yeah.
5 years.
I didn't debut until I was 23.
What a machine, cuz. The same process,
So
like
you got
all
to
the
think like
jobs.
the 2 jobs. I was doing consistently playing playing New South Wales Cup for Windsor, and then there was a time where Penrith gave me a full-time contract. They said, we want you to come do preseason. So man, when I got that contract, I was like, yes. So then I had to quit my day job, the 7 to 9.
Yeah.
And then I accepted the preseason with Penrith, but I was still working security because remember that money there was, the parents, my family, but I was still doing security for my daughter, and then I'll play on the weekends. But man, it was good that I got the contract for Penrith full time, but then my Windsor money was the money I got from Windsor cut off because now I'm a Penrith player. So I had to take a pay cut.
Well, you got less money going to
Penrith. So when I went full time, bro, like I got money for being full time, but it was only small. But I still do security at night time. But remember, I was getting paid from Windsor. But when I signed with Penrith, Windsor was the feeder club, so I'd go to Windsor if I didn't play first grade for Penrith. So my matches and that from Windsor stopped. So it was kind of like a tough decision. So that lasted 2 more years. So I went 3 years working, 2 years there, and then Manly picked me up from there.
Yes.
Ivan
and that's how
Cleary
I was. Remember.
Ivan Cleary just got to the club when I was at Penrith, my last year of Penrith, and I've been playing front row lock for the last 2 years before he got there, and then he came up to me and said, "Man, I believe you're a centre."
So true.
I started playing centre that year.
The centre.
Then I ended up playing like wing, sometimes fullback, just because they looked at me there. But ended up going to Manly, man. And like this is what I'm talking about. It took 5 years, got to Manly, trained really well, and then the first round of 2023, I debuted. Right, this is 5 years now. 13
is it?
Or 2013. Sorry, 13, not 23.
I was like, 13. Last year. Let's go. Yeah. First round.
2013. I got my debut opportunity. I was so happy, man. But it was in Brisbane, bro. So I was like, frick. So we went to Suncorp. Like, obviously, my family, man, for them to come up to Suncorp, it's a lot of money, Like, so we're there. Suncorp debut, man. Excited as on the bench. It's the first round of 2013. Guess how many minutes I got on for?
Not sure, brother. Not sure.
So I get on, and there's only 3 minutes and 40 seconds left.
Yeah, that's 3 minutes, 40 seconds.
Yeah. So I waited. So when I say this to you, I get on 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and then I don't play first grade again. I'm 18th man like 5 times that year. I get picked in the 17 4 times, and he doesn't put me on. And I don't play first grade till 2014, round 1 the next year. Yeah. So it took me 5 years to get 1 game, and that was 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And then that whole year I play cup, and I don't get in the team. But, man, I sit on the bench 4 times that year, right, in the 17, but he only uses 16 players that year.
He being Jeff Tuvey, was it, at the time?
Yeah, Jeff Tuvey. Yeah, Jeff Tuvey.
I think there's got to be an investigation into that.
When I speak about this, like, everyone thinks that you can just make first grade in 1 year. Like, really, man, it takes 5 years just to get there. Then it takes a long time to stay there. You know what I mean? Because it took me remember I told you I didn't play another game in 2013. When I got to 2014, I played every game by 1. Yeah. And in 1 year, man, it's crazy how the compound effect works. Like, in 1 year of NRL, I achieved pretty much everything I set out to achieve. And when I look back, I aimed too low, because when I first made NRL, I just wanted to be better. I wanted to get more games than my uncle. His name was Robert Peaver. And he he played 16 games for the Cowboys. So in 1 year, I played 25 games, and then I always wanted to play for Samoa. In the first year of my NRL, I played for Samoa mid-season against Fiji.
How was that? How was that for you, brother? Being a proud Samoan man, and for your family, your grandparents.
Bro, it was because the game was in Penrith as well, and so all the boys from Mount Druitt, all the boys from Mount Druitt and that were on the hill, and because we go and play at Tregear Touch, like they're all shouting my name and singing Samoan songs. So far for me, that was like I could hear them because I came off the bench and they were yelling like when I got on, and it was pretty special, man. And then my family's had a big banner of my name, and when we were singing the anthem, like just looking at the stand and with them having my big banner, my name there was pretty special, man. It's probably the highlight of my career, to be honest.
But the thing finally went, the bloody middle one went away finally. Sorry, but I keep going. Annoying thing. Would it go away? But no, that's beautiful, brother. Shout out to the Samoan roots, the grandparents, and finally getting to not only debut but represent the Great Island Nation, the homeland. That's beautiful, brother. Awesome.
I see that.
But when you say aim too low, what do you mean? What do you mean by aim too low? You're like,
yeah, like you gotta be careful of what you ask for sometimes, because you get exactly that. Because the next year, not that I didn't train hard or didn't have that drive, but a few injuries happen, and then after that, man, you lose sight of where you're going, and your form starts to drop. So like what I had in the beginning to get me to first grade, if you keep doing the same thing, you keep getting the same results. So I had to this is where you learn about growing as an athlete, as a person, and as in your mindset. You need to grow again, to go to the next step. And some people just think, oh, I've done this last year, so I'm going to keep doing it. But yeah, you got to grow though. You got to keep doing it. But what's the next level? What's the next step? A lot of people work hard and then they just go plateau, but they don't know how to go up again. And that was something I struggled with, to be honest, to grow again. And when you look at players like Cherry Evans, I debuted with him, and he's probably the only Manly player that's still there from when I was there. And if you see his development, man, every year he gets better at something. And every year it's something different. It's either, like when I was there, man, he worked hard on his kicking game, massively on his kicking game. And then after that, he wanted to be a more better runner of the ball. So then that next year, he was playing more flatter on the line, and then the next year after that, he wanted to work on his D because he wanted to be state of origin. So, man, after that, he started working on his line speed, getting up in front, and he started reading the game better. So, that's pretty much an example on leveling up, where me as a kid, man, coming through Manly, the thing I learned the most was I went to Manly as a winger center. When they gave me the
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they gave me the opportunity. They said, "Can you play front row?" I said, "Yeah, man, I can play anything. I'll play NRL anywhere." So I started front row, and then what Tooth told me, he just told me two simple things. He goes, "I want you to run hard and play the ball quick." I said, "Thank you, mate. That's what I'll do." So, man, I just kept the simple, kept it simple, and it got me games. It got me playing every week, and what my mindset was that I was going to do that again the next year. But man, I had to grow. I couldn't do that again. That worked for last year, but that gets you into NRL.
Yeah, okay, consistency.
You got to go. I had to go another level, and I never got that balance. And to be honest, those are probably the things that these kids today probably miss as well. And the kids that keep going better and better are the kids who really know how to nail that.
Yeah, and hopefully people listen to this and they go, "Oh, yeah, I'll better do that then." You know what I mean? That's why these things are good too, I think, because they can hear from people who have been in those positions, brother, to be like, look, I looked at, you look at someone like Cherry Evans, he's a great, brother, one of the greats of the game, brother, still making Australia, still Queensland, still What is he now, brother? Because he'd be a couple of years older. Is he like 36 or something like that? 36?
We're the same
What is
age.
he?
Yeah, he's
Oh, same
34.
age. Okay.
Yeah.
34. Yeah. But like to continually, as you say, get better and still be making these high teams, there's rep honors and stuff at that age, brother. Awesome, man. And obviously, what you're saying is probably a big reason for that. And hopefully other young players that are up and coming, I think even in life, if you plateau, level up, maybe go learn a new skill or learn a language or something, keep those juices flowing, keep learning, like I said to my kids, brother, learning every day. Or I was saying that I sort of live by as white belt for life. I don't know if you've done martial arts, but white belt's usually the first belt you get, and white belt for life just for me just means that you can always learn. You're always learning, even if even if you are a veteran, you can still add to yourself. Yeah, that's beautiful, brother. Solid.
Okay.
So how long are you at Manly before you end up at Cronulla, eh?
Yeah, I was there for 3 years, and then I went to Cronulla for 1.
Yeah, and that was the grand final year, was it too?
Yeah. Special year for Cronulla, man. First time 50 years. The way they done it was awesome as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, any takeaways from your time in Cronulla? Like you can
Yeah, I think for me was being around the group when they won it. What stood out the most was the leadership within the group. You had really good leaders there: Mick Innes, Paul Gallen, Wade Graham, Matt Pry playing at his best. Andrew Fafita playing at his best.
Luke
Lewis, another leader. Yep. And those guys, man, those leaders in the group, like they really drove the environment. They drove professionalism, getting better every day as well, And it was just crazy to see the leadership skills do the talking on the field as well, And that's really hard to find sometimes. Like I've been in clubs where leadership group is tight, but then there's 2 or 3 that don't really agree. Where at Cronulla, man, like they were all in. They were all in. And like I'm not saying that other clubs aren't the same, but I certainly think at that time of the year, that time of rugby league, that was Cronulla's number one thing that got them to where they got to, like the people buying in, like their main players buying in and playing at an 8 out of 10 every week as well.
Yeah.
So that was something that I really got from Cronulla, and to see the outcome after it as well. Pretty special.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you end up in the UK after that, eh? In another successful team too, huh?
Yeah, man. Like I was happy for Cronulla to win the comp, but for myself personally, I didn't get to play. I didn't get that week. I mean that day to play. So to fast forward a year later, you like I said, got to watch out what you pray for, because then I'm walking out to Old Trafford Stadium, starting front rower for Casper Tigers in the grand final. And very blessed to do that, And then we also win the league leaders over here for Casper Tigers, first time ever in the history of the sport that Casper Tigers have done that.
What's that like? Minor premiership, is it, brother?
Yeah. So it's my premier. But over here, league leaders, pretty big thing over here, because back then, back in the day, they never used to have grand finals in that. It's just league leaders, and that's it. You're the champ. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just league leaders and Challenge Cup, was it? Eh?
That's how they do it over here. But yeah, it's some special moments, man.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, what's the difference between the Super League, or playing in the UK and the NRL? If someone say, what's the main difference for you?
To be honest, I think like pound for pound, standing like your best team versus our best team. I think they can challenge. They can, like Super League can be at the same level, but what the difference is the resources that NRL have compared to the Super League. And when I say that, is like the physios, the doctors, the work that, like the rehab, the the facilities over here, they're very, very low standard. Where
Okay.
in NRL, it's nothing but the best, you know. It's nothing but the best. But I can honestly say that some of the standards, like say the lower leagues in the NRL, like the Q Cup and stuff, their standards will be higher than some of the Super League standards.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting, brother.
The wages over here are very low. So like in Australia, you'll get a professional physio and you'll have about 2 of them, right? And they'll probably get good money. Where over here, man, you could get a physio that's full time and earning 20 grand a year.
Oh, far out. True.
And like they could probably go and get another job in the hospital and earn more at the hospital than work for a professional full-time Super League team.
Wow.
Now, I'm not saying that because they're on crap money, they're crap at their job. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that to get the best people in, you're not going to get them at clubs unless the clubs are willing to pay good money.
Top dollar.
Well, they pay top dollar. Like every club pays top dollar for their physios, top dollar for their strength and conditioning trainers. So over here, it's the same thing with strength and conditioning. Like I'm not saying they're bad, but they don't get good money. So when there's an opportunity to go away from rugby, they go, why would I go and do rugby every day and work on my days off when I can go to the hospital and work Monday to Friday and have every weekend free and get more money? So that's the difference.
Solid, brother. Hey, thank you for that. I haven't heard anybody say that part. So 8 years in the UK? Is it 8 years now? What do you enjoy about the UK the most, brother?
I think it's life. Besides rugby, because I love what I do over here. I love rugby. That's why I'm still playing, still chasing.
Who are you playing for now?
Sheffield Eagles.
Yeah.
Eagles.
Wait, what are they in Super League or?
No, they're in Championship, so they're the one under Super League. We're trying to get into Super League. I really enjoy life around here. You know, it's just in terms of everything I wanted to do as a kid. I feel like this country / like environment that I'm around give me the opportunity to be that person.
Wow.
You know, so like, you know, we've got a foundation over here called Talk Your Walk Foundation, and we specialize in talking to people with mental health and mindset, and you know, we go into communities now and we're helping people that have drug addictions, homeless, and like, man, doing these things really, really connect to my why and my purpose in life, you know. And the greatest reward in life is not what you get, but it's who you become. And this is what's really empowering me to love what I do here. And I just love the opportunities that we've been able to bless upon.
Beautiful, brother. So what is the edge mindset, brother? What is that? If someone says reading that title there, what does that mean?
So obviously, I've spoke a lot about my journey, and a lot of it's been about being resilient, you know, hardworking, and the edge mindset was something that at the time at Penrith, when I was going through this, you know, 18 years old, I had to work. They had the trainer for Penrith, Matt Elliott. His name was Jenko was the strength and conditioning job, but Matt Elliott was there. He said, every Wednesday morning, I'm running a session here at 6 a.m. It's not compulsory, but if you want to come, you can come. At the time, I didn't have a contract at Penrith. I was like under 20s, no contract. Remember, I had to go to Windsor.
Yeah.
Like I said, bro, if this is going to get me the first grade, I'm going to come. He goes, yeah, it'll definitely get you the first grade. But you just got to show up every Wednesday, 6 a.m. So, man, Dad was at work, so I had to catch a train. So I got the train every Wednesday for the whole year, man. I was there. Rain, hot, whatever it took, I was there. But these sessions was his sessions he would make up, and I was the guinea pig, right?
Oh.
So like he could do it was bloody brutal, bro. Like hurting. Like I used to be scared going. Like I'll be like, fuck, we're gonna get smashed. And like when I'm there, man, I've spewed up, I've cried nearly. Like there was times where I just don't talk because you're just doing it and you're so gone that you just stop talking, you know. And I really went like you go into a dark place. But anyways, a lot of people joined the Edge. And he ended up calling this program the Edge program.
Okay.
And I was like, wow. And like boys would come in, like Tim Grant would come for a session, but then he wouldn't come next week. Like it was a top-up session as well. But some of the sessions it would work really well, and he'll do it for first grade. Some of the sessions was so hard, but he'll go, nah, not doing it. But I'd already done it, you know. So we had boys come in like some of the boys that were close, Panisi, Vabe, they all done at least one Edge session. But honestly, I didn't miss one. You know what I mean?
Did a whole year, eh?
I went every time. So when I think about the Edge mindset, the Edge is because I know whatever life gives me now, or whatever training session I come up to in the UK, pre-seasons, whatever it is, that I know the Edge was where if I can get through the Edge, nothing else can break me. You know, no matter how hard, how tired, how sore, how mentally broken I am, I know that I can get through it because I went through the Edge. And that's where the Edge mindset comes from. So I like to talk about people, what edge do they have in their life? And then if they're missing something in their life, how can I help them get through it?
Oh, beautiful, brother. The Edge mindset. So how do people just reach out to you there, or do they reach out to your personal Instagram or?
Yeah, so I've just finished a program with 5 clients, and we journeyed together. We done a 2-month program, and honestly, man, it was powerful. Like I never thought like things like this could happen, but man, the results in 2 months, like some of them lost like 10 kilos, you know, but that's not just the main thing. The main thing was like we got to do life together, and they got to do things that I do every day. And to me, it's like, yeah, well, this is how you win. But to them, there was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, what the hell? This is new. And that's why I created this program. And so to get on the program too, it's not just for anyone. I had to reject like about 7 guys, because if you're not willing to
you gotta have that edge.
Like it's not gonna work. And I'm pretty like, I want it to work, you know, I want to win.
Yeah.
I want you to win. So like if you don't, like, there's certain protocol that we go through, and I get on a Zoom like this, and like there's certain things that you got to do before we even get into the program, you know, because if you don't, then we're not gonna get the outcome that we want. We're not gonna get that dream outcome. And like you got to commit, you know. That's the first part. Like, are you willing to get uncomfortable? This is the year of action. So that's the kind of mentality behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful, my brother. That's solid, man. Solid. I love what you're doing there, brother. 100. Hey, I know I've taken up a lot of your time, brother. I've got a couple of questions before we go. Is that okay?
Yep.
All right, sweet, brother. Top 5 players that you've played with or against in your NRL and Super League and now Championship career.
Oh, I'll go first. Petro Sene-Lefao.
Oh, Petro.
Yeah. Probably the best bloke I've met in rugby. Taught me how to speak to sponsors. Taught me how to communicate and like, be a good guy, but be a great guy. That's better, you know.
Petro.
So Petro was, and I didn't get to play with him, but I played against him when I debuted for Samoa.
Samoa?
Yeah,
I thought so. Let's go.
Wow. I'll put Cherry Evans there. He was on fire that year, you know, when I played my first year of NRL. Anthony Watmo.
Oh, Chock.
Yeah, Chock. I think he believed in me a lot, and he was the one that was swearing at the coaches and that to play me in the team. Yeah, he backed me. Yeah. Like he just really pushed for me to play. And then like because sometimes I only get like 10, 15 minutes, and he'd be like, frick, if and now, why is this guy not going on? Why aren't you putting him on? So like just earned the respect of the boys there, you know, like especially
you must have left an impression, brother. You must have left an impression for someone of that ilk to be like, oi, you gotta bloody play him, bro. You know, that's pretty cool,
yeah.
man.
I mean, that for young kids, man, that's the best thing you could get is your players wanting, like, you know, the senior boys wanting you to play. But I'm going to try and pick someone from like guys from the UK over here.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
because
good.
like, we've
Two
had
more,
some special players, man. Junior Moores, you know, he played over
Did he
here.
play for the Tigers as well?
Tigers
Junior?
in Melbourne. Yeah.
Melbourne, yeah.
And then
What was so good about? What did you love about Junior? Like, what made Junior? How does he make that list? What about him?
well, I don't in the NRL. I don't think he actually got to his like peak. You know, but man, when he was here, man, like honestly, it's like unstoppable. Like
True.
it was ridiculous. It was like, you know, when that big kid just palms everyone off. That's what it looked like sometimes over here with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You're the
it was
Junior
like, and then, but not just that. Like he had skill like a half, like crazy. So that's why. And then who else over here? Wormsley, Alex Wormsley.
Alex.
Yeah,
he's a beast, eh?
He's a freak, bro. I just love the way he, you know, like just in big games where he'd show up. Yeah, but man, I've never done 5 players, so I forgot because I got a lot of close friends too that I could mention them too. I'm just picking people that I don't know that well.
Yeah, no, that's cool, but it's cool, brother. Like, and it's relative to today. Someone else asked you this question in 10 days, it could be different, brother. You know, it's all good. Yeah, 100%. I understand. If you could have one superpower, brother, what superpower would you choose and why?
Oh, learn faster.
Ooh,
yeah, learn faster so I can do a lot more things quicker. In today's society, you either to go fast, you got to pay money, and then to do it yourself, you pay time. So, which one are you wanting to pay with?
Learn faster. It's on, brother. It's on. Like, learn fast.
Learn. Like, I want to be able to like. Okay, I really, really want to focus on this, and I really want to learn it.
Yep.
And I want to be able to read it once, and again, bang, I know how to do it.
Yeah, absorb it straight away.
Instead of like, you know, for me, I got to study it, I got to work it, I got to action it, I got to like really get into detail of how this thing works, and then, you know, there's a progress. I just want that fast.
Bang, bang. Like the Matrix out there, just put that chip in there and I'm good to go. Get out of here with those chips. Yeah, but I get what you mean. Just like boom. Yeah. But last one, brother. Oh, sorry, two more, my bad. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what do you choose?
Oh, one meal.
Yeah. So like it has to be in a meal. You can't be like, oh, I'll get something from this meal, something from that meal. Like, you know, it has to be something that you know what I mean.
I'd go any type of meat.
Okay.
Boiled eggs and sourdough bread with butter. Yeah.
Let's go, brother. That's it. And lastly, my brother, if there's young players out there or young just human beings that want to be better, what do you say to them? They say, just give me one piece of advice other than what you've already said.
Oh, shucks. I've said a lot tonight. I think.
Yes, you have, my brother, and I appreciate it.
Right. Yeah. One thing. It just depends where you
they
are.
They want to make grade or something like that. You know what I mean? They want to do what you've done. Yeah, first grade. They got the ability.
Oh, then clarity. I've already said it today.
That's it. Yeah. Just clarity.
Just know where you want to go, exactly where you want to go. Be detailed with it. Like don't have a plan B. plan, just one plan, all in.
I like that. No
your
plan
chips
B's,
and all
baby.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
That's
always
on,
like,
brother.
if you live life on the edge like that, man, like there's nowhere else to fall unless you fall forward.
What I know you said, so you said clarity. That was one of your three. Just in case people missed it, can you just remind what were the three? Obviously, clarity is the main one for you to succeed. But what are the other two?
The clarity, the fear of failure, accountability.
There you go, fam. Hey, my brother. Anything else you want to say before we go, or are you good? Are we good? We covered a bit.
Just thank you for your time and reaching out. I appreciate what you're trying to do here with the podcast, and to everyone who's listening, man, share this podcast. Let's get the young people inspired, and like you said, leave a good legacy for your kids and your grandkids, man. And hopefully we can achieve that.
Yeah, 100, brother. Well, hopefully one day we can either meet in the flesh and have a cup of juice or something, or because I don't drink coffee. I know a lot of people do lattes and that, but and who knows, my brother, whether it's in the UK or back here in the land down under, brother. And hopefully this isn't the last time you come on. Maybe in a year or two, or whatever. If you when I'm going, getting a bit better at this and things have progressed for you in your life or retirement, whatever happens, in the near future, let's chop it up, my brother. But most of all, my man, time is the most valuable commodity we have as human beings, brother. So thank you and even your family for allowing us to share this time with you, my brother. Appreciate it, man. Grateful.
All good.
Thank you so much for watching this full episode of Mind the Mic. It takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to create these episodes. So to know that you've watched and listened to the entire thing means the world to myself and all our hosts. If you could, before you leave, please hit the subscribe button and share this episode out to as many people as possible. It would help us so much. Thank you again to everybody that's still here, still watching. Thank you for all your comments, all your shares, all the DMs. Appreciate you all. Make sure you follow us on every platform. Have an awesome morning. Have an awesome night, depending on where you are in the world. Mind the mic out.
Oi, have you hit the link in bio yet?
Watch full episodes on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all streaming platforms.